meal ticket if I could keep living on to get time ticking like waiting in line and you don't get it.
As they go up against the Philadelphia 76ers. For Philadelphia, they haven't yet found their groove. They're still trying to make adjustments to try and change the momentum here early in the season.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Facing off, guys, against some of the lower-ranked teams in the league, and we'll see if they're able to take advantage and have their win total.
And I think for Athens, any fears of a regression for them this season have been laid to bed. They're an elite team yet again, and they're poised for a dominant stretch run here.
Looks that way to me. I mean, this is a team that appears perfectly primed for a deep run into the postseason, as long as they don't suffer any unforeseen injuries or setbacks.
I'll look at the starting group for Athens. We've got the Doctor. Beast out there with the General. Then it's the Machine. And it's the Chosen One in at the 2-guard. Well, guys, what a nice surprise Tony Roten was last season. Especially effective taking over at the point, Clark, with Michael Carter-Williams gone.
Yeah, Roten put up a career-high 5 assists per game and really worked hard at the defensive end as well. He's one of the few talents on the Sixers roster that hadn't been traded away.
Covington with the bucket.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
The General passes to the Beast, and he finishes nicely on the layup.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one. And for Roten last season, he even took on more of a scorer's mentality. Went up in points, went down in field goal percentage. But like a boxer, he gets a little extra credit for pushing the action.
Got that bucket in no time at all. The Beast's got his second bucket of the night.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
They get it back. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. The 76ers shooting their first free throw of the night.
And looking at last season's numbers, down below 70% as a team from the line.
He would gamble defensively, too. That's, to me, just a young player growing up on the job. Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag him.
Here's the General. Again, Athens.
Well, he doesn't waste too many of those chances close to the basket.
Looking at Philadelphia, they took the win in their last game against the Magic.
And were able to overcome what was a really poor shooting night. And you're not going to be able to win with a percentage as low as theirs that often unless you defend.
No style points earned for sure, Greg, in that game. But they did hit the big shots when they needed them. And oftentimes it's not what you do as much as when you do it.
76ers trailing. Covington kicks to Roten. 13 feet away. That doesn't go, and he's 0 of 1 from the field. For Athens, they've gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass.
Pass to Covington. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Covington's got his second bucket of the game to go.
And guys, the Spurs coaching tree extends pretty far these days. Coach Brett Brown, another former member of the Spurs staff, to be leading an NBA team.
Off target with the open look.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
Roten dishes to Okafor. Fires the three. That's good. Covington's got 7.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And Athens decides to take their first time out here. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way, and that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against a defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
And it's a completely new group here for Philadelphia. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the 76ers.
Guys, right from the start, it's been apparent they're determined to establish a presence in the paint.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Here's Cannon. Can't cash in from close range. For Athens, they've gone 6 of 10 from the field in this ball game. And Flash gets it to go. Flash has got his first points of the game.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Here's Cannon, tries from 10. Noel passes to Grant. 5 on the clock. The 76ers need to get off a shot. Sampson. And the 3 off target. Athens leading by 3. Here's the machine. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
Well, he knew how many inches he had over the guy. I mean, let's face it, good decision to just rise up and take the jump shot.
And Noel with the basket on the assist by Cannon.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooting.
From deep three-point range. And Philadelphia grabs the miss. Both teams trading buckets as we end the first quarter. Athens ahead. They lead by 1. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for Athens.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passes. And that could set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well, and getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
And Philadelphia has possession. They trail by 1. They'll be playing host to Toronto for the next one. That'll be the last of 3 straight at home for the team. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. And so in the game for the 76ers, they've got Nerlens Noel, Tony Roten out there with Hollis Thompson. Then it's Robert Covington, and it's Okafor in at the pivot spot manning the middle. For Philadelphia, they have shot just 1 free throw, missing that one earlier. No good on the second free throw. Well, with Nerlens Noel coming out, we knew he'd be a plus shot blocker. He set the Kentucky's single game record with 12 in a game shot blocks. He also knew he had the chance to be a great rebounder, but we definitely knew he needed help with his shot, and that will continue on into next year.
Yeah, you know, he spent the year rehabbing that knee, but also spent that year correcting his shooting form. And we're not talking about just a tweak when it comes to shooting the basketball.
Athens shooting around 60% on the night. Amazing work offensively so far. Here's the great one. Again, Athens.
And a big height advantage right there.
You know, it's tough to bring a big man that far away from the goal, but that might be a mismatch they're willing to live with. And, you know, going back to Nerlens Noel's shooting, the improvements to his form look really good. Even better is that he hit 60% from the line as a rookie. That may not sound like a great start, but at this stage of his development, that's great progress.
Here's the great. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Three-pointer. That's good.
And I like the fact that he really was unfazed by that scoreless first quarter, and now you can see him getting into a rhythm. You know, one caution I have about Noel's improved shooting, you don't want him to fall in love with jumpers. He did shoot only 46% from the field last year. Conversely, DeAndre Jordan shot 71% because he dunked everything and kept his head under the rim. It's a fine line between improving your game and playing within your limitations.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Landry's checked in. Athens leading by 4. Down low, Okafor with the steal. Thompson inside, and he uses the glass on the layup.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But, boy, that was a nice job.
Here's Landry. Got a hand on it. Here's the great one. And some very quick points for him on that possession. The great one's got 9 points now in the quarter. The 76ers trail by 4. Roten kicks to Landry. He feeds it to Thompson. And here's Covington from the arc. Another field goal for him. 4 for 6 shooting tonight.
There is no way a player like him can be left wide open like that. Did you pay attention to the scouting report?
And Athens calls time here.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, I like this timeout, Greg. I think it's a good one because it looks like they need a minute to talk things through here.
And it's a completely new group for Athens. They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe. And the 76ers with some changes. J.K. Sampson comes in for Robert Covington. And it's Cannon in for Hollis Thompson. The 76ers have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second.
And guys, this 76ers team still trying to forge an identity. One thing that is sure, they will attack the basket, and a lot of fearless players on this roster.
Here's the doctor, and the layup falls. The doctor's got his second basket.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
To the paint. It's in. That's his third field goal of the game. He's 3 for 5.
He's making it look easy scoring out there because he's much more efficient here in the second.
The 76ers trail by 8. In the corner, it's Roten. And they get it. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
You know, this is not an area where they expect him to contribute. You know, he's a guy that shot below 70% last season.
You know, guys, when you look at those numbers last year for him, I think it does affect how much you're willing to go after contact because you're a little fearful of getting to the foul line unless you're in the and one situation. Too many trips to the line when you shoot it as poorly as he does actually can hurt you.
Sampson dishes to Grant. Here's Cannon. Pass to Embiid. Fades. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
And he should thank the team for those 2 points. Nobody paid much attention to him on that play.
The machine passes to the general. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
And you really thought that was going to be a gimme, but unable to convert.
Yeah, and a little self-talk, angry self-talk for himself after that miss.
That's it. And the Athens lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from Grant.
Boy, they keep hammering the...
Here's the machine. Here's the doctor, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
Quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slant.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
And so we wrap up the first half.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Ernie Johnson along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. How about you, Kenny? What did you think about the visiting team?
Well, quite simply, their bench showed up tonight. And when I say showed up, I'm talking about on the offensive end because they were scoring in bunches.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball.
You look at what Covington has done so far. He's got 10 points, and he's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of three-pointers.
And you know what? The defenders have that in the back of their minds now. They'll be on him a little tighter.
The 76ers trail by 6. Tipping off the second half. Here's Fred Hoiberg's 5. They've got the machine. The general is out there with the doctor. And it's the beast. And it's the chosen one in at the 2 spot. Here's the beast. He's covered by Roten. The beast. And that one's good. The Beasts got the first basket of the second half. That one for Athens.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't have it.
The second chance effort. He takes it up and lays it in. And Athens leads by 10.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the boards.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards.
Rising up and hammering it home. That could be just what they need to pick their energy up.
Wow, it definitely got the guys on the bench on their feet. I'll say that for man. Oh, man, was that
And no
fun.
doubt about it, guys. That's one of those plays that will pick up his teammates. A lot of times a play like that is just what you need to get the adrenaline flow for your team.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play. And Philadelphia calls time here. And, guys, this is the first time they're seeing Athens this year.
Yeah, and a 4-game season series between these two. Both will be looking to set the tone tonight.
Yeah, and as they renew acquaintances, if you're the underdog, you always want to show, hey, we've got something new up our sleeves. Should be fun.
Here's Covington. 10 points for him. To the inside. Can't hit from in close.
1 for 5 on offense. A slow start here in the second half.
The general hits in, and he's a very efficient 5 for 6 on the game.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Covington's shot is off.
You know what? His finishing ability, not really at the level that you would expect from a pro, but he's going to have to start playing with more force. Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
And now Athens on the break. Here's the doctor, and Tony Roten gets the whistle there. That is his first foul of the game.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Yeah, but in this case, I think he got it right. I mean, the defender was still moving there and never really had good legal guarding position. He wasn't set.
Merlin's Noel checks in for Carl Landry. And then for Athens, the great ones checked in for the Beast. Thunder comes in for the General, and Flash is subbed in for the Doctor. Kicks to Roten, to the middle. Thompson dishes to Roten. Kept alive. Can't hit from in close.
Just tentative in the paint, lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot.
And Flash gets it to go.
And as they continue to just dominate this game, you have to wonder how much can they win by.
Well, it's on the verge of getting out of hand, Greg. You can feel it, you can see it, in part because the defense has been about as good as the offense, and both have been really good.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Here's the great one, and the foul called on Nerlens Noel. That'll be his second foul of the game. And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Joel Embiid, he's checked in for Okafor. Grant comes in for Robert Covington. Jagar Sampson's checked in for Hollis Thompson. And it's Isaiah Cannon in for Roten.
And they seem to have gotten something out of almost every possession. Their defense has been just as good, just a tremendous performance all the way around.
Yeah, and they're doing it in hostile territory, too. I mean, don't forget about that part of it, which makes it even more impressive.
Last season, the first season of action for Nerlens Noel, officially a rookie after sitting out the 2014 season. He looked good, and he got better as the season was going on.
A great point. I think that year off really helped him grow as a player. Coming into the draft when he came out, he was a guy who I thought had one of the most unbelievable motors I had ever seen. And you know what? Everything he was hyped up to be, he lived up to on the defensive end.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting in the paint and keep scoring points. Keep it going.
Not a lot you can do as a defense when they keep getting the ball in the paint like this.
And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two.
And for Noel, I really think he took off in the back half of the season. Up to scoring, his shooting percentage, and his rebounding. You can see him getting better almost every game.
And by the end of the season last year, Noel was completely different as a player. Always a defensive force in the league. His development is probably going faster than many expected.
Mr. Incredible, he's checked in for Athens. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. Now Athens with Cannon kicks to Noel. Embiid sets the pick for Noel. Pass to Cannon. Just 5 on the clock. Grant gets a wide open look. Another miss by Philadelphia. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Passes to Thunder. Plenty of room around him, and it's good. And Athens leads by 21.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
I'd agree with you, and I don't think they expected this one to be a game where they would get battered inside like they have.
The 76ers have made just 1 free throw in this one, and a lot of misses beginning to pile up. So it's both teams making substitutions here.
At the line for 2.
And so Cannon nails both of them. Here is Mr. Incredible. He's covered by Noel. Good! Mr. Incredible's got his first bucket in this one.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Cannon misses. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Athens ahead, running away. Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. Athens leading by 21. Robert Covington out there with Carl Landry. Then it's Tony Roten. Then it's Thompson. And it's Okafor in at the center. That's the group in the game for the 76ers. And Robert Covington picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
Well, you know, we're far enough away from the 2013 draft where we can start to get a feel for just how strong it was. I mean, initial feeling was it was a weak draft, but there have been some gems coming out of it of late.
Offensive rebound, the chosen one, and there's the bucket. Staying with it on the offensive glass, getting it done.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Here's Roten. No luck.
And fancy finishes like that look great, but man, it's embarrassing when you blow them.
Here's Covington, the 10-footer, and it's Okafor missing. And for the 2013 draft class, not sure if there are going to be a lot of all-stars from that class, but there are quite a bit of rotational players that are effective.
And Kevin, listen, there's still a chance to see a couple of all-stars emerge from the class, as there are some elite talents that just need time to grow. And overall, there weren't too many complete misses. Almost every lottery pick is a rotation player at this point.
Just 2 to shoot. Ball stolen. And it's rebounded by Covington.
Oh, my goodness. That's like temporary insanity right there.
Do you think he realizes we've actually got a game, a serious game taking place here? I have my doubts, partner.
Athens leading by 23. The general passes to the Beast. Right at the free throw line, and he drops that one in.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want.
No one near Landry as he lets it go. Drills the elbow jumper.
Athens calls timeout.
And Athens calls time here.
Oh, look, league business clearly doing well. Franchises, values are skyrocketing, and a new TV deal kicking in next season as well. It represents the largest expansion of league revenues in history.
And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
And the double clutch layup in that situation, that's just him playing to the crowd, guys.
And the NBA's TV deal paying about 3 times as much per year as the previous deal.
And it's changing the math as far as the salary cap and contract negotiations go. For the fans out there, don't get sticker shock. The players expect to share in these revenues.
But they'll get another chance. And it's Okafor missing. For Athens, they've gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the fourth quarter. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. 76ers have gone just 1 of 6 from the field to start the fourth quarter. A bit of a slowdown for them right now. Picked by Okafor. Philadelphia moving the ball around. And he's finally able to knock one down. Athens has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Pass to the machine. Here's the Beast. From 10 feet out. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Roten dishes to Thompson. Now, here is Landry. Not a lot of room. Here's Okafor. The 10-footer finds the target. For Athens, they've gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. And he gets it to go.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Athens.
But, Steve, you don't see this kind of a blowout often. But tonight, this is a quality win across the board to deliver out, Clark, this kind of punishment.
Well, you know what? I thought they did a nice job of playing against the game. They kept the pressure on and clearly were dominant in every area.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
And it will be a fight, Greg. When you see an opponent that many times, it's inevitable that those games take on a little extra added meaning for the players.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for the General. Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
That's good.
That one will seal the deal there. They've exploded here at the end.
Boy, I love the serious killer instinct they've shown, finishing strong.
There's the pick. Here's Roten, a picture-perfect screenplay, and the jumper's good.
You can't afford to give him that kind of a look.
Well, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
And the shot is good.
And you're not going to pass up that kind of look.
And, guys, they can just sit on the ball here if they want to.
Sure can, because they've earned the win.
They get the rebound. Comes up empty down low. So it's Athens winning this one easily. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thanks, Kevin, and let's take a look now as we give the nod to our Jordan player of the game. He was the engine that drove this team the whole night, and his teammates had no problem harnessing the power of that motor.
There was no shortage of points in the paint for him tonight. He was doing his thing, using his big body to create space and make easy baskets for his teammates and himself inside. When he got his hands...
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie